2023 has started and we are on a halfway to Silksong's release date. But we haven't gotten any updates from Team Cherry, and that means I don't have material for a video. And seeing how I covered all the bosses, I'm going to cover all the NPCs that we got so far. So, NPCs or non-player characters are an important aspect of every game, regardless if it's a vendor, quest giver, enemy, companion, storyteller, or a comical or relief character. Most games have them, and Silksong is not any different. Through Hornet's journey in Farloom, she will encounter many new characters, such as new cartographers, new quest givers, and new vendors. We don't know much about some of these NPCs, so let's take a look at stuff we know about them, starting off with Chakra. Chakra is probably the NPC we know the most about. Immediately, just by looking at her, we can see she is carrying maps or scrolls on her back. She is described as a fierce and intimidating warrior seeking her master, who vanished under strange circumstances. Chakra's clan are skilled fighters who can handle their own in the kingdom's wilds, and usefully for Hornet, each member of the clan hones a craft skill, and Chakra's skill is mastery of cartography. So she will probably be like the new Cornifer of this game. She will provide Hornet with maps and useful tracking tools, which will be necessary since Farloom is much bigger than Hollownest. You will be able to locate her by golden rings on the ground that appear near her location, as shown in this image, similarly to how Cornifer had maps and papers near the place where he is located at. And in the Edge magazine, it was said that Chakra may end up clashing with Hornet in some circumstance later in the game. We also have a screenshot where she takes a fighting position but doesn't draw a weapon, so this might be a fake-out battle like the Hunter. There is also an interesting phrase in her description, a warrior seeking her master. The only other place where the word master is mentioned is Professor Gigi and Steel Soul Jin. But I doubt they are referring to the same master, since the master Professor Gigi and Jin are referring to is somehow related to the Void, and Chakra's master is likely one of the warriors from her clan. These warriors from Chakra's clan might be like monk or shaman warriors, given that she has no weapon, and she also gives off like Elder Hu vibes with the ring aesthetic, so this might mean that Chakra and Elder Hu are from the same clan, but that is just speculation. Another interesting thing is the location she is shown at. This is the only time we see this place. The background of this area is filled with big chains, and there is a big building with visible windows near her. This could possibly be a prison with all the chains being present, but there is no information to prove this. And while speaking of prisons, let's talk about Grendel. Grendel is one of the NPCs that was revealed through riddles on Hollow Knight Discord server. Here we got a single GIF where we can see him. He is referred to as a common snitch bug fixated on thievery, which explains why he is in a prison. It is said that he traveled around Farloom, though he seen it mostly through iron bars and cells. And after freeing him, he is ecstatic to be free at last, so he could take advantage of Kingdom's ailing state. It is never elaborated on what is actually happening to the kingdom. We know they are cursed by Silk and Song, but we don't know what does this curse actually do. It clearly doesn't make the individual cursed by it into mindless husks like the Radiance curse did, since citizens of Farloom still work and send resources to the Citadel, and what mindless bug could enforce laws on individuals such as Grendel? But whoever is keeping him in the cell is not doing a very good job, since we can see a whole desk of throwing knives here. This could possibly be the place where Hornet gets this tool or gets an upgrade for her throwing knives. After Hornet frees Grendel, he gives us this piece of dialogue. Ho ho ho, free at last. Locked up in here much too long we was. Nasty place to keep a poor little snitch bug. You're smelling fancy though. Bet you got some nice shinies hidden under that cloak. By this, we can determine two things. That Grendel has been in this cell for a long time, and probably not alone, and that he is a creep since the first thing he does when he sees Hornet is smell her and want to look under her cloak. What is he, a Discord moderator or something? But in all seriousness now, he tells us we was locked up in here much too long, which indicates that he is not alone, which makes sense since we were never shown his full cell, and by the looks of it, it's like a double cell, since it is much bigger than the cell of this poor guy. So there could be another individual on the other side of this cell, even though we don't have a single clue of who this might be. And the final bit of information that we have about him is that he will provide Hornet with information in exchange for rosaries, though this information might be of questionable value. The vibe I get from this character is the same I get from unbreakable Patches from Dark Souls. And there is a reason why Patches never makes it out of the Cathedral of the Deep or the Tomb of Giants. So if something like that happens with Grendel, I hope I get a chance to step on this little bug, but by his dialogue he might actually enjoy this. Next up on our list is the iconic duo Forge Daughter and Ballo. Forge Daughter will be this game's equivalent of Nailsmith. She will provide Hornet with tools and upgrades in exchange for materials and rosaries. In E3 demo it was revealed that her crafting mechanic will be different than the Nailsmith's, but it was never shown what this mechanic will be. Probably just that now you don't only bring materials like pale ore and geo, but you will also need to do a quest before she crafts something for you. She also has an interesting dialogue. Other than talking about crafting skills, she mentions that the bugs of this land have lost their sense. They still work, but they are useless for conversation. Other than her and Ballo, they are all cursed. But what makes them special? Since Ballo looks exactly the same as Bugs from Deep Dogs. The only difference is that he is next to the Forge Daughter. His only bit of dialogue is talk to the boss. He shows great respect for Forge Daughter, which can't be said about her since when you hit him, the Forge Daughter just laughs at him. Poor guy. Now let's fly over two individuals. Seth and Shrabio are bosses that also fall into category of NPCs. I already talked about them in the video where I covered bosses in Silksong, so I won't be going over them in depth for this video. First, let's talk about Shrabio since there is no information about him. Basically, we didn't see this character interact with Hornet in any way. We didn't see him attack her or talk to her, so I can't say what kind of character he will be. But on the other hand, we have Seth, which we clearly saw both aggressive and passive. We have the same case with him, just like with Shrabio. We don't see any dialogue between him and Hornet, so I can't say if he is good or bad. And that's it for these two guys. Garmand and Zaza are up next. They are a duo of NPCs. One is a rambunctious, older bug, and the other is his noble steed. It is said they are on a quest to discover a new home. What sort of home they are looking for, it is unknown to us. Are they looking for a more traditional house with a big backyard? Or, for the same price, they could have this luxurious apartment in New York with a big spacious kitchen like this one, and this great decor that they put inside the walls. Whatever they pick, I bet Zaza will pick a great house. Yes, you heard me right, Zaza. It is said that Zaza is the smarter one out of the two of them. While Garmand does the talking, Zaza is the smart one with all the ideas. We also heard Garmand's voice in this clip where we saw them charge into enemies. Here we can also see that Garmand is using a lance type weapon. But if you look closer, it's actually an instrument. Now, I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to instruments, but in my professional opinion, this is the same instrument that Squidward is playing in the hit anime SpongeBob. And the last bit of information is in this clip from the second trailer where we can see them helping Hornet fight this big moth enemy, which one of my viewers informed me it's called Morwing or Moorwing. I don't really know how to pronounce this shit. And this was found out from the file name of an image that was uploaded to the Xbox website. And that's everything we know about them. Now, Sharma is an interesting little fellow. He is described as an optimistic pilgrim on a spiritual journey. His path will often cross with hornets. He is also very weak and will constantly need hornets' help to combat enemies on his path. Other than that, we don't know much about him. We saw him twice in the reveal trailer. Once as he is opening this big gate near the deep docks. We can tell it's near deep docks by these little embers flying through the air. Now, how does he actually open the gate is still a mystery to us. We can see him using his instruments to open up the gate, but we don't know why Hornet can't do the same thing, since we saw she learned how to play her needle as an instrument. Do other instruments open other doors? We can't say for sure. The second time we see him is in the town area where we can see him resting near the entrance to this big building. And that's everything I can say about Sharma. Since we were on the subject of Hornet learning to play her needle, let's discuss the individual that taught her how to play her needle. Churchkeeper first appeared in the reveal trailer in the sub-area called the Old Church. She can be found right after the battle with the Moss Mother. In the reveal trailer, we saw her singing while Hornet is playing her needle. Now we don't know how useful this skill is since we didn't see Hornet use it, but I think this skill will be used to open up certain doors. She's also supposed to be like a mentor or a guide for Hornet through her journey in Farloom. So she might teach Hornet how to use her nail better. Also, one of my viewers and I discussed it that Lace might be somehow associated with the Churchkeeper and that the Keeper might have put up Hornet to fight against Lace, but this was just a fun discussion. I wouldn't take it seriously, I just wanted to throw it out there. Huntress is yet another NPC that was revealed through riddles. Because of her name, she is frequently said to be this game's hunter equivalent, even though her purpose in this world is still unknown to us. She is described as a towering old predator awaiting her children's birth. And in her dialogue with Hornet, she asked Hornet to give her organs of other bucks or offer her own organs as food for her children. So we might have a gathering quest for this NPC. She also seems to be quite knowledgeable about the state of Farloom and the Citadel, but she doesn't seem to be a fan of the bugs from the Citadel. Her location is also still a mystery to us. She seems to be either in Greymore or the same location where Seth can be found, since both of their locations are quite dark with a grey coloring, but also have this strange plant life growing around them. And the last thing that I want to talk about is this little mark that appears when Hornet kills this enemy. It appears the same way the Hunter's mark appears when Hornet unlocks a new entry in the journal, but this mark doesn't look anything like her. So she might or might not be Hunter equivalent of this game, but until Team Cherry confirms this, we can only guess. Caravan is the last one of NPCs that was revealed through riddles. And actually, it's not a single NPC, it's actually a whole group of flies that came to Farloom in search of something precious. It is said that their caravan boasts a bounty of flavorful foods, powerful drinks, and some surprising amenities. While traveling through this kingdom, they have lost their children, and now it's Hornet's job to find them and rescue them. Even though they don't seem to be in need of rescue, since one time that we saw one of these little flies was in the E3 demo, and it didn't seem that it was in danger since it was sleeping. These fleas will probably work like the grubs in Hollow Knight, and when Hornet gathers enough of them, she will be rewarded with food and drinks from the caravan. We don't know if these foods and drinks will be a consumable items, since we didn't see a lot of them in Hollow Knight, or will they be used to tame beasts such as the Bell Beast. One more thing to add is that the location of the caravan shown in this footage is the same location where we see Chakra. You can see the same building with the windows and the giant chains in the background. The last few NPCs that we have don't have any description and they are not even mentioned on the Silksong wiki. So there is not much I can say about them. The first one of them is Druid of the Moss Temple. We can see his name on one of the gather quests. He is in need of some mossy berries which can be found in the Mossy Grotto. We see one of these berries in the E3 demo being collected, and when we bring these berries to him, he starts stirring his weird concoction that erupts from the cauldron. We don't see what Hornet gets as a reward for this quest, so we can only guess it was the same concoction he was cooking. Also, his location is in the Overgrown Village, which is a sub-area in the Mossy Grotto. The second one is a vendor that we see in one of the towns near the Citadel. We don't see him interact with Hornet in any way, so I can't really say anything about him. Then, we have this man hiding in his snail shell. He's in some strange dark area that we first seen in the reveal trailer. He also gives me vibes of Elderbug, since the way he is positioned is similar to Elderbug. See, they are both standing near a bench and both look old. We also have the mysterious conductor Romino who wrote the Farlum's Folly. And we have one more guy. I left the best for the last, and it's this small guy revealed in the post E3 demo blog post on Team Cherry's official website. We can see that Hornet is talking to him while he is building a sign. And who else is building signs? Manderbug. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is confirmed to be the new Manderbug. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this video as always. If you like my content, consider subscribing and liking the video. And if you have any other ideas for what else I should make a video about, tell me in the comments below. And since I'm still relatively new, if you see any mistakes, make sure to inform me about that. I'm always trying to improve. And that's it. See you all in 6 months when Silksong doesn't come out.